a.m. TV5 News starts right now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news, the National Weather Service will survey damage after a tornado was spotted tonight in Tuscola County. This is some of what it left behind. Viewer video shows a wall cloud over Millington as the system made its way through the thumb. We will have a live report from Tuscola County in just a moment, but first, Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman is in the First Warn 5 Weather Center. Any worries for the rest of the night, Brian?
Thankfully, at this point, Colette, no. The severe weather threat over and done with. Those storms that produced that reported tornado in Sanilac County moving out over Lake Huron as we speak, and we'll just be left with a few straggler showers for the balance of the overnight. But let's take you to where this all began tonight as we go through some of the reported sightings of these funnel clouds. It all started in and around the Millington area where the first official reports and several photos posted even to our TV5 Facebook page came in of, as you can see, at least 2 reports here on the ground in and around the vicinity of Millington of those reported funnel and wall clouds. That little clip of the video we showed you off the top of the newscast. But for whatever lack of spin that storm was having trouble getting going near the Millington area, it certainly found its stride as it moved into Tuscola and Sanilac counties, dropping a reported tornado in the vicinity of Kingston. It was actually an observed tornado on the ground by trained spotters that prompted the earlier tornado warning. And as you can see, there were at least 2 other reports with some even reporting some damage. Not this particular one of another reported sighting of a touchdown in and around Decker, but numerous reports of trailer damage, tree damage. Thankfully, though, at this hour of the night, as we switch over to the First Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar, the only shower we even have is in far southeastern portions of Sanilac County. The rest of it has moved well out over the open waters of Lake Huron. And as you can see, no imminent storm threats in the thumb. Although, however, we will likely see at least a few, we'll call them lighter periods of rain during the overnight period in the form of these scattered showers that are trailing in on the backside of this system. Those likely to be a common fixture as we head into the day tomorrow. Lots of photos, as you can imagine, coming in from these storms tonight. Check out the wall cloud spotted here from Dina Lorene out of the Millington area as that storm was moving east through that area. Some of the damage from Scott Smart in and around Kingston flipped at least 1 trailer in that area. And also this spotting of the nearly touching to the ground what looks like a funnel cloud there from Rosemary Adams, also taken out of Kingston tonight. We'll track the rest of the shower threat coming up in your full forecast.
Okay, thank you, Brian. And we sent TV5's Kate Nadolski to check out that damage. She continues our team coverage from eastern Tuscola County. Kate, what are you finding out there?
Yeah, guys, that is right. We're dealing with a lot of severe damage here in Kingston. Right now, I'm behind a home right off of Sanilac Road again in Kingston. And I want you to take a look at the damage that we are currently dealing with. Now, you can see this is part of a shed right here, a pretty big shed. But this entire part of it was leveled. You can see the walls completely flattened, some of the tree kind of on it, as well as some of the debris more in the backside here. Even some of that insulation left behind. Some of this was actually stuck up in the tree and coming down. Now, we're going to take a walk over here, and as you can see, some of this debris is also scattered on the ground. And right up here, we actually have pots and pans on the ground, and those actually came from this trailer right here. Now, this is an entire trailer that was flipped entirely on its side. And if you want to come around this way, you can actually see the contents because the roof, the very top, had actually opened up, and you can see, you know, the wood, everything in there just completely destroyed. We're going to take you around the very back side. Now, this is the bottom of the trailer. You can see all of these wheels up in the air. We're told that the tornado that had touched down right here in Kingston pushed this from the yard over there into this yard. And we actually spoke with the people who live in both of these homes, and they shared with us their reaction to this storm and, of course, this horrible damage.
Well, it was quite disturbing. Didn't really realize it at first, but the camper wasn't in the yard, and the other, my construction trailer was upside down, laying in the yard. So yeah, it was havoc. But we were wondering how the house was, and we went around the back deck. It's completely destroyed, but the house only has a broken window, so not too bad.
Well, the neighbor's trailer is in our yard, and my trees are stripped. I just had my grandson trim my 2 great big willow trees in the backyard yesterday, and they're stripped now. They're a mess.
Now, again, a lot of damage out here tonight in Kingston following that tornado. The neighbors that you just heard from were very terrified as this was all happening, but they do tell me that they are very, very glad that everyone is okay and there's no injuries at this time. Of course, they do say it's going to be a very long process cleaning all of this up and, cleaning all the limbs and all the particles from the buildings. But, of course, they definitely have their work cut out for them at this point. Reporting live in Kingston this evening, Kate Nadolski, WNEM TV5.
Oh, what a wild scene out there. Thank you, Kate, for that. Now, a quick reminder, you can sign up for weather alerts by texting TV5 to the number on your screen, 23765.
Take the whole week off just to come down to this.
Well, that's the kind of enthusiasm you are likely to find in Flint this week during the Back to the Bricks Festival. We are joined by my colleague, David Custer. There he is, who was in the thick of it today. Well, it's hard to underestimate the impact of this event, isn't it, David?
Yeah, Colette, it's a major impact on this community. It's actually hard to imagine what would stop people from coming out to celebrate Back to the Bricks, because hundreds of cars and people lined Saginaw Street despite the threat of severe weather.
Mother Nature not in control, only riding shotgun.
Let's go cruising.
Car lovers still revving up and filling up on a recipe of hot cars and delicious food on night 2 of the rolling cruise that is Back to the Bricks 2017.
What we're thinking about this cheese strap one.
Mike Hazel making a pit stop right off the bat for a bite to eat at Grand Blank's Food Truck Festival. Hazel cruising in a car so rare that if you didn't get your Sears catalog in 1952, you may have never even known it existed.
It's called an Allstate. Henry J. Kaiser made the car when they rebadged him as a Sears car. So it made about maybe 5,000 total.
After grabbing some grub at one of the 12 food trucks, it's back on Saginaw Street, rolling north to the delight of spectators braving the threat of rain, all hoping to catch a nostalgic glimpse of days past.
The old Monte Carlos, anything old, 70s.
The path leading downtown to one of the event's biggest parties. 1,200 Flint and Genesee County Chamber members packing into a new venue inside at the Flint Farmers Market.
We pulled the party inside, and I look like a hero.
President Tim Herman says it was too risky to host the annual tradition out in a tent on the bricks, but canceling outright was not an option, as this event honors the business owners who will benefit from Back to the Bricks.
300,000 people in this community for a weekend. The economic impact is huge.
And that impact is definitely felt by spectators and classic car owners alike.
It's been great. I love it. I take the whole week off just to come down to this.
All right, tomorrow is the last day for the rolling cruise before they come down here for the big event in downtown Flint on Saturday. Also tomorrow, you can take part in a free concert. Gates open at 5 o'clock p.m. at Dordt Federal Event Credit Union Center. For now, reporting live in downtown Flint, David Custer, WNEM TV5.
In a split second, it became absolute pandemonium. Something happened out on the street, and then suddenly everyone was just running literally for their lives.
ISIS claiming responsibility for today's attack in the Spanish city of Barcelona, in which a van plowed through people at a pedestrian mall. And now we're learning that south of the city, authorities shot and killed 5 suspects who tried to carry out a similar attack, injuring 7 people. Here's what we know at this hour. 13 people are confirmed dead in Barcelona, and at least 100 are injured. Now, witnesses to the attack in Barcelona say the van tore through 7 city blocks before the driver ran away on foot. Tours from Clemson University describe that scene.
I counted 6 or 8 bodies within a block and a half.
Now, police have 2 men in custody. One is a Spanish national and the other a Moroccan. But police say neither was the driver of the van. President Donald Trump tweeted that the U.S. condemns the attack and will do whatever is necessary to help, adding, "We love you." Well, MSU is denying a request to rent space to a group headed by white nationalist Richard Spencer. The university released a statement saying it supports freedom of speech, but has, quote, significant concerns about public safety in the wake of the violence in Charlottesville that began with a white supremacist rally. The western Michigan city of Lowell is stripping the name of iconic Confederate General Robert E. Lee from its showboat. The entertainment venue was first built in 1935 and closed in January because of safety concerns. Now the city will begin building a new showboat in January. A woman's behind bars for something very unbelievable. Wait until you find out what she's accused of doing in a school pickup line. That's in our Coast to Coast report. And a fashion show with a statement about helping families. We'll explain next. Well, an organization is out to prove that helping others is always in fashion. Tonight, several models walked the runway for the Fashion for Families fundraiser at Northwood University in Midland. All that style went toward helping family and children's services of Mid-Michigan. Among those modeling outfits, there she is, was TV5's Meg McLeod, along with former TV5 reporter Andrew Keller. Family and Children's Services provides counseling, education, and support for its clients. Well, could you be looking at Michigan's next governor? That's Democrat Abdul El-Sayed, former director of the Detroit Health Department. He was invited to a meeting tonight in Midland of the Women of Michigan Action Network. El-Sayed is no stranger to Mid-Michigan. After migrating from Egypt, his family has lived in Gratiot County for decades. He's among 3 Democrats and 5 Republicans running for governor in 2018. Well, a semi-truck slams into a highway barrier and explodes. The rest of the story is worth waiting for. Watch our Coast to Coast report.
And while the severe weather threat is over and done with for tonight, the chance of showers is not. Bear that in mind for the morning commute. Could encounter a few downpours with temps starting the day in the middle and upper 60s. We'll have your weekend forecast coming up.
9 men are behind bars after a human trafficking sting at this year's Sturgis motorcycle rally. It's our top story as we go coast to coast in 60 seconds. For the 5th year, undercover sex sting operations took place at the annual rally. Agents used online ads and social media to catch the suspects. A woman has died after her semi-truck went over an embankment in New York. Police believe the crash happened around 4:30 a.m., but no one called 911 until 7:15. An explosive crash in Kansas as a semi-truck slams into a safety barrier and burst into flames. The driver was initially trapped, but several others stopped to help get him out. And a Florida man bringing his girlfriend to the hospital after allegedly beating her crashed his Jeep through the doors of the ER. Police say the man had narcotics in his system. A Fort Myers Sheriff's deputy caught a woman snorting cocaine in the parent pickup line at a Florida middle school. It's unclear if she was picking up a child at the time. And firefighters in Oklahoma say lightning sparked a house fire as a family slept inside. Neighbors say it sounded like a bomb went off. There's your news coast to coast in 60 seconds. While students across Michigan are bracing for that big day, their first day back to school, one community hosted a big event to prepare kids with supplies and a healthy dose of fun. TV5's Meg McLeod reports.
I have a ruler, a paper of the American flag, and they're all for school, and I hope everyone gets good education.
That's Skyla Wheeler talking about the bag of supplies she picked up at the back-to-school bash put on by the South End Citizens District Council as she prepares to head back to the classroom.
I'm really excited to go into 3rd grade and meet new people.
This free event had a little bit of everything, from food, arts and crafts, and body paint to fire trucks, raffles, and CPR demonstrations. Forrest Robinson put on this event. He says it's all about bringing the community together.
We love it down here, and that we want people to be neighborhood friendly, safe, and we always preach to everybody in our council that always say hi to your neighbor.
The Bay County Sheriff's Office had a booth for kids to make their own IDs, and this guy says our local law enforcement were his favorite part.
It's cool that you can see their gadgets on their pockets and their walkie-talkies and their cars.
We also caught up with Teresa Beekman and her 2 sons, Aiden and Arlo. She says this event can lend a helping hand to parents who might be hesitant to ask for it.
Parents need more help than they say, so it's good that they can come and get some supplies so none of the kids go without. And, it's always fun to do free activities with our kids that don't cost us money.
The kids we spoke with say they're ecstatic to be stocked up for school, and they hope their fellow students are just as excited as they are.
Kids out there have fun learning at school.
In Bay County, Meg McLeod, WNEM TV5.
Certified most accurate by Weather Rate. Now your First Warn 5 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman.
All right, good Thursday evening. Mid-Michigan, certainly a notably quieter slate of conditions now, thankfully, compared to what it was just a couple of hours ago with that reported tornado touching down in parts of Tuscola and Sanilac counties. Those storms now moving out over Lake Huron and out of the region, but we're still going to be left with a few stragglers and stubborn pockets of rain as we head into not just the second half of the overnight period, but actually into our Friday as well. Let's recap tonight, though, before we go any further. Here's your First Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar, and we'll first show you tonight some of those reported funnel cloud reports where things essentially all began tonight in parts of Tuscola County closer to Millington. We showed you some of the photos and video of the wall cloud that was spotted there from multiple angles, and it looks like at least at a few points around the Millington area, it did at least kind of take on more of that classic funnel-shaped appearance, but nothing appears to have touched down in that area. At least there are no confirmed reports that it did. It wasn't until later on when that storm kind of merged with another cluster of thunderstorms that it seemed like it got a better sense of its rotation, put down a brief tornado at least touching down just on the east side of Kingston. And as you can see here, there were at least 3 reports of a touchdown there as it just progressively worked its way off toward the north and east. And with at least one of those reports, we of course did have some damage in the form of some trees knocked down, and as Kate Nadolski showed us earlier, quite a bit of damage to a trailer in that area, unfortunately. But as we switch over to the First Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar in radar mode tonight, well, we can see while that heavier storm activity is primarily out of the region at this point, we're left with a couple of stragglers, some light showers beginning to spill back into parts of Saginaw County, as well as into the northwest corner of the Shiawassee County area tonight. So from about Saginaw, Bay City, maybe even Midland southward to Flint, expect at least one more dose of rain before the night completely comes to a close. But even as we head into our Friday, we are still going to be dealing with a lot of the lingering after effects of this storm system, which is going to take its time moving away from us. Let's jump outside here tonight and see how things are shaping up downtown Saginaw. Well, your breeze is picking up notably there. Current temp at about 70 degrees, and it is still a bit on the muggy side. The dew point back down to a slightly more reasonable 66, down from the mid-70s that we had earlier this afternoon, providing us with all of that thunderstorm feel. But boy, was it a steam bath out there. We're going to gradually work that humidity out of the picture thanks to these winds, which coming in at 7 miles per hour, but appears that they're gusting at least a little bit higher at the moment. All right, back to our rainfall amounts, because you know, it wasn't all bad in regard to today's stormy weather. We picked up about half of an inch of rain in Saginaw, 6/10 in the Flint area, and just shy of about an inch in Houghton Lake, just to name a few of the spots. So at least some gardens and lawns, thankfully, getting a good chance to get a good drink of rain and give us some of that needed rainfall around parts of the region. As for our weather spotters tonight, Mike McCloskey also picked up a good amount of moisture, 6/10 of an inch of rain, and 69 degrees his current temperature there. We jump to the north to the Cole Canoe Base. Gus there, he's got 71 degrees right now, a southwest wind at 9 miles per hour, and a bit more in the rain bucket today, coming in just shy of about 9/10 of an inch. But as you can see, even with those breezy conditions, no hurry to cool off out there tonight. At coolest, we're really in the upper 60s only in places like Caro and Marlette. Just about everybody else in the low, if not middle 70s. And the reason for that is because we're still primarily locked in this storm's warm sector. Warm front part just to the north and east of the region is going to be quickly followed by a cool front overnight as the low begins to pull away from us tomorrow. But the catch is this little disturbance over parts of the plains is going to get swept in on the backside, so things are going to remain a bit unsettled for a bit longer. First Warn 5 hour-by-hour forecast, though, through the rest of tonight and into tomorrow morning. Smattering of a couple of hit-or-miss, very light showers, but the big story of tomorrow is going to be the lingering clouds and breezy conditions and maybe a couple of those lingering nuisance spits of rain. 66 is going to be your overnight low for tonight. Lingering showers and just remaining cloudy and muggy overall. Breezes pick up to about 10 to 20 tomorrow with a high of 75, lingering clouds and a few showers. Heading into Saturday, the spotty shower threat remains, but Sunday we work it out of our systems and get back to 83. Colette, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. From 4:30 to 7, meteorologist Chris Eastlick will track your wake-up forecasts. We'll update you on damage reports from the tornado that struck mid-Michigan tonight. And we'll give you a heads up on your morning commute from MDOT and our TV5 live cams. Well, straight ahead, Jason is next with Sports Extra. For all your breaking news and weather 24/7, remember to like us on Facebook. You'll find the latest headlines, Facebook Lives from our reporters in the field, and up-to-the-minute weather information impacting your community.
Now with coverage you can count on. You're watching Sports Extra.
The hype and expectations for Michigan sophomore Rashawn Gary continues to build as the team gets ready for its season opener against Florida. Recently, Gary was named a second-team preseason All-American by Sports Illustrated, and he's also on the watch list for the Bednarik and Walter Camp Awards. The former top recruit in the nation has all this hype because of his size and athleticism. He's built like a defensive end, but runs like a linebacker. Gary says there's a night and day difference between his skills on the field now versus where they were a year ago.
After having my freshman year underneath my belt, going through, stages where I didn't know I was doing certain plays, and now sophomore year I know everything I'm doing and everything looking smooth, so I'm just planning on having a good year.
We continue our high school football Parade of Champions previews with the Freeland Falcons. Freeland is the reigning winner of the Tri-Valley Conference Central Division. The Falcons went 10-1 last season, falling to Frankenmuth in a district final. And the team graduated many talented players from that squad. In fact, last year's senior group was the winningest class in school history. Freeland only returns 3 starters on offense and 4 on defense, but head coach Kevin Townsend says he likes this team's overall depth.
JV team was 8-1 last year, so some good kids coming in there. I think more depth at the offensive line, where some kids are more interchangeable with that. 2 pretty decent quarterbacks, both are juniors, so we'll have to see what they do at the varsity level. I think some good depth at running back. All 3 of the kids coming off of the JV team that played won't start, but you're bringing in 3 kids that played most of the snaps at the JV level last year.
The Falcons kick off the regular season at home on Thursday, August 24th against Bay City John Glenn. The Great Lakes Loons go for their 3rd win in a row against the Lansing Lugnuts. It's scoreless in the 4th inning. Lansing at the plate. Javier Hernandez passed a diving Brock Carpenter into the corner and left. Runner going to try and score. The throw to the plate gets by the catcher. That makes it 1-0. Bottom of the inning, Jaron Kendall finds a hole. That brings in Cody Thomas. Gavin Lux will try to go from 1st to 3rd. He is in there, and the ball gets away, and Lux would be awarded home. Loons would tack on a few more runs from there, and they go on to win by the final score of 8-1. An all-star youth soccer club continues to rack up championships. The Nationals Soccer Club of Michigan captured their 4th national title in 3 seasons. The Nationals took 2 titles at the end of last month at the youth championships that were held in Texas. The club won both the age 16 and 15 divisions. The team works out in Pontiac, but is made up of players from around the state, including mid-Michigan. And the kids say that the 2 titles prove that the state of Michigan is a big-time player on the pitch.
Because you have this huge target on your back when you go in to the next year. It's like, oh, these are the national champions, and you want to defend that title. You really don't want to lose, because when you lose, they think they're the national champions, so you got to hold that title.
And they're already working towards another national championship as their regular season just got underway. That's it for sports. We'll send it back over to Colette.
Pretty impressive. Congratulations. Well, a man cleaning his home comes across a very dangerous surprise. I know what could have sent him to the pearly gates. That's straight ahead. Okay, check it out. Imagine vacuuming your home and finding one of these things. You see it right there? That is a more than 3-foot-long eastern brown snake, which is among the world's most venomous. Whew. It was discovered by an Australian homeowner next to his baby's crib, wrapped around the children's toys. And as you might expect, the homeowner called in snake catchers who captured the creature and carted it away.
That is a big bag of nope right there.
Oh.
I don't like boys. No, that's not something you want to come home to for sure.
No, not at all. No, thank you. I've been creeped.
Got you skeeved out, right? All right, let's take a look at the forecast here. We'll get your mind off of it. Few lingering showers as we head into tomorrow. A breezy and still unsettled day, 75. Another chance of a spot shower Saturday, but more sun. And then we get the showers out of the picture on Sunday, 83. And still looking good for the eclipse on Monday.
Sounds good. Have a great night.